Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Quantum Bridge with myself, Casper, with my co host, Gary. And we are very, very fortunate to be joined by a guest today. So, hi there, Gary. Hi there, guest. But I'm not going to steal Gary or your thunder. I'm going to pass across because this guest has come via Gary. And thank you for that. And yeah, please introduce
Hmm.
us.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show, Lesley, who we have with us today.
Thank you.
So, I've mentioned before that I've met some people via Twitter, and Lesley is another one of those. So, if you follow the account and you see us on Twitter, you never know, it could be you. And I get that that's part of the, attached to the lottery, but and maybe you'd rather win that, but you could also come on the show. You never know. It's good. So
Is that at the Quantum Bee, is it?
it is at the Quantum Bee, and all the information for us and Lesley after the show will be in the show more information under the video.
Thank
There
you.
you go. So I'm just going to read a little bit of Lesley's Twitter, if she doesn't mind. Just
No,
your
not at all.
bio, which says that she does natural bath and body products with no nasties. It's vegan, it's eco-friendly, it's cruelty-free, and no WEF crap. So this is why she's here. So, so there we go. That's why we have guests like Lesley today. So we'll start with, I think, we're aware that you're in Wales, but are you Welsh, Lesley?
No,
There we go.
I was born in Epsom Hospital in Surrey. We lived in Chessington. My dad got a promotion and we moved to Hastings. And then sadly, when I was 9, my dad died. And we moved back to Chessington to live with my grandmother. She was a gardener.
We were thinking beforehand about
but
Lesley
then,
growing lots of vegetables in your garden, isn't it?
yeah. And then what happened was when I was getting married the first time, we couldn't afford a house in Surrey. Surprise, surprise. My mother had by that time moved up to Wales, and we came up to have a look, and we liked it, and we found a house we could afford. I worked at that point for the NatWest Bank, so I got a transfer, and we moved to Wales. And I've never gone back. I've been back to visit on occasion, but frankly, it scares the life out of me. Traffic and it's just a nightmare. Wales is a gentler pace of life for the most part, which suits me.
Yes, I think I would quite like to enjoy that as well. But but it's fantastic. So we're sort of putting Wales on the map on the show for the first time, but minus the accent. So the American audience would probably appreciate that. So, but unfortunately, yes, so a little bit. So I don't know where you want to start, but what we want to lead up to, obviously, how you ended up getting into these products. But where was you before that?
Okay, I've done a variety of jobs. I started with the NatWest. I was there for 10 years. I've also worked for insurance companies, Canada Life. Don't know if anyone remembers them, but they went bump. I worked for a tenant referencing agency. And for the most part, I've actually been self-employed. I've been an encaustic wax artist. I've also worked in supermarkets. I've done all sorts, but I never really found my thing, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that's how I've really ended up where I am now. I have a love of everything natural. What goes into our bodies and onto our bodies is very important.
So how long ago did you start this particular venture?
I originally started in 2011. What happened was I was actually off work with a bad back at the time. and I mean a bad back. And I happened to see the library advertising a course. It was only a 6-week course, but it was for women with work-limiting health conditions. And I went along and I loved it. There were only 6 of us on the course. But I have to say I'm the only one who has stayed with what I developed there. The idea was to encourage these women to find some way of being self-employed, that they could work around their health issues. And I immediately said I really wanted to do something to do with natural bath and body products. The name came about because we were all like brainstorming for a name for me, and somebody came up with Skin Kiss, and I liked it, and I adopted it. Initially, I was just making bath salts because I discovered, to my horror, that you can't just make a batch of bath salts. You have to jump through hoops and get what's called a cosmetic safety certificate. And that meant I was limited. I could only make certain things. But I've evolved over the years, and I now make quite a range of stuff. And what I can't make, I will buy in from a producer who shares my ethos.
Yeah.
Are there particular things, Lesley, that are your when you talk about your ethos, and I can feel it and sense it anyway. And obviously, we've had another conversation prior to this as well, so I'm lucky in that sense. But when you think of your ethos and what you're about and what the quote unquote brand stands for and so on, how do you see it? Can you encapsulate that easily in words?
Natural body bliss. I mean, I truly believe everything has to be natural. There are so many chemicals involved in most products off the shelf. And if you knew the history of some of these chemicals, you would never touch the stuff that you see on the supermarket shelves. So yes, I think, natural body bliss. Your body in tune with nature.
I mean, it's almost weird, isn't it? In some ways, sorry, Cass, that I'll just make a little comment that when they talk about animal testing and things, you think, well, why would you have to do that? What the hell's in this that you're going to put on yourself that you need to test it on? Yeah, so that's when you sort of start wondering these things. Yeah.
If it's that bad, why don't we just test it on humans anyway?
What are you trying to?
We're the end user, so surely we should be testing it on ourselves, not making animals suffer. Yeah. All my suppliers that I use are also cruelty-free and vegan and natural. Cool. Very important to source where your ingredients come from, along with what you make yourself.
Lesley, in your world, where does organic fit in? Is it a word that makes sense in the nature of what of the products that you're working with, or is that more to do with foods and other stuff that's not skin related?
You can buy organic ingredients, and occasionally I do, but mostly they are so much more expensive they don't justify the additional cost.
Right.
When it comes to food, yes, organic is much better because you're avoiding the pesticides, etc. When it comes to skincare and that, essential oils have to be so carefully produced anyway. So I don't think it's such an issue.
Yeah. It was quite interesting. Didn't you say you was originally in Epsom and then you ended up making bath salts? So I was thinking of Epsom salts here, but
yes, magnesium sulfate.
There we go.
To you and me.
So, I mean, you've got a website, haven't you, where people can buy the products? But you also, I think originally you mentioned you was doing like a market type place.
Craft fairs.
That's it. Yeah. So
yeah, my other half, who I've known for far too long, um, he used to organise craft fairs, some huge ones, but in recent years, smaller ones just on Conway Harbour. And we used to have a stall each because he also has a business. So I would man both the stalls while he was outside organising. Unfortunately, COVID sort of killed that off. And then the council did their bit to finish it off completely. They decided that rather than £21 for a licence for 5 days, they wanted £100 a day. This is Conwy County Council. And £100 a day meant that the cost would have to be passed on to the other crafters, and it became non-viable. So not to be defeated, we got ourselves a trailer from a friend of ours, and we've decorated it with all our logos and things, and we actually park up on Conway Harbour next to all the children's rides. That's also a friend of ours who organises those, and we sell from there now. The trailer, when we're not working there, is parked outside on the road. We've actually had 2 people who've gone past and then stopped and come back and knocked on the door to ask if they can buy. So the advertising's working.
Yeah, it's nice when that happens. And for me, we have guests like yourself come on to inspire others who are thinking, what can I do? Or they may be scared to start. They don't know where to start. But to show that we can do this, and also that it's important where we spend our money. It is just an energy, and we can support each other in that way in the community. I mean, obviously that's very important to yourself.
Yes, very. We have a small village shop, and I always try and support them. They're quite good, actually. They have a book exchange, so you take along any old books that you don't want anymore. And they have a big box outside, obviously not when it's raining, but they have a box outside and you can just help yourself. I picked up some excellent books there and given them loads of mine.
Feel free to give them a name check, Lesley, if you can remember the name.
Talabont Shop.
Okay, great. Thank you. Because I think it's important, as Gary said, it's just lovely. I'd like to get back actually to how growing a business was for you, because I think it's a vitally important area for a lot of people who are feeling this call towards sovereignty and self-empowerment and whatever. It's just another channel across that area. But yeah, I'm sort of keen to look at that journey and everything that's happened, and at the same time to where we can, it is really good to call out where other people are doing things as well. And I love the fact that you've got this sense of community there. So I suppose a couple of things from me, and of course Gary can jump in again as well. But one about that sort of timeline of growing a business and keeping going doing that, because this is no easy thing you've done. And secondly, about that feeling of being supported, because I get a sense that your energy and your underlying vibe and whatever is something that's really helped you by creating those sort of local and relationships, really, I suppose.
Yes. I mean, everyone in the shop knows what I do, and they've turned up on my doorstep wanting to buy stuff, especially in the run-up to Christmas.
Brilliant.
It is a community here. We're only a small village. But the shop is also a post office, which is excellent for all the older people in the village. Yeah. Very important, because you can actually get cash out there. We don't have to worry about not having banks and cash machines that work and things. You can nip into the post office and get some cash out, then hopefully spend it with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And in terms of that timeline from setting up your own business and how that's grown and morphed and whatever. Did you have sort of absolute plans as to where you wanted to get to at various stages, or was that organic?
Me and plans. I actually started originally in 2011.
Yeah.
I managed 3 or 4 years, and it just wasn't going anywhere. So I'd actually got another job to tide me over.
Yeah.
But I wasn't happy. I'm not necessarily very good at taking orders.
You don't?
And
join the club. Yeah.
Basically, I went back to being self-employed, and I really pushed the business. I set up a Facebook group and a Facebook page. Twitter, I originally joined in 2011 and then really didn't bother with very much. But I became very disillusioned with Facebook and their need to censor the truth. And I moved for more and more over to Twitter. And I still stay on Twitter. I occasionally pop over to Facebook to deal with my group and to encourage people and to put up sales posts and things. But mostly I prefer Twitter these days.
And has Twitter been supportive in the growth of the re-emergence of the business and so on?
Believe it or not, yes. I mean, it doesn't sound much, but I've had 3 orders which came in and I didn't recognise the names. And then I found out afterwards that they were people that I'd engaged with on Twitter.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Yeah.
You know, I have a pinned tweet which tells people what I do. And yes, I mean, it is important, and it does seem that the message gets through on Twitter.
Yeah.
Which, because of Facebook's algorithms, it doesn't always.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing about Twitter is we're finding that you sort of seem to find your tribe, so to speak, over time.
Yes.
And that's a nice thing, you know.
Yes, definitely. Definitely found my tribe on Twitter.
Yeah, and it's important. It's an important tool, and again, it's a way that, you know, the little guys, if you like, can help again support each other with their likes and the retweets and try and promote each other's skills and talents and businesses.
Yeah.
It can
Yes,
create
people are very, very good. When I do a post about the business, people always retweet for me, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Because it means that all their followers get to see it. You know, it's a way. It is a community.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for it.
Well, I think
Lesley,
we are moving into that energy, aren't we? I don't know if you probably sense this as well, Casper, where there is a growing wanting to move away from the big guys and that sort of thing. So it's like,
yes,
we just need to accelerate that. I would say.
I agree. I mean, one of the biggest disappointments with COVID was how everyone turned to Amazon. Mm-hmm. And frankly, they have enough money. You know, it's the little guys who are being crucified that people need to support. And I pointed this out to a few people, and it did generate some interest and some orders. But people are still very much Amazon groupies.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when there was an opportunity there in that lockdown to shift what you did, but unfortunately, everyone sort of then went back to the supermarkets once it was open again.
Yeah,
I know people, they like convenience, but just from a personal point, you know, it's a small inconvenience at a very important time to just say, let's just think about this. Can we shop differently? Can we save differently?
Yeah.
They're very small adjustments.
What's this saving you talk about?
We have ways. So we've done shows on. It's up to people what they want to do, but we provide the advice on how to move yourself into, say, precious metals, things, or digital assets. And then when you do have those, okay, so if you've got some cryptocurrency, there are then ways that you can go and use that like a regular debit card.
Yeah,
That's
the other half is into crypto.
Yeah,
he just has the right brain for it. I'm not sure that I do.
but what he might not be aware of is that he could, I don't know, he can put it on a card. Or we did a show with the CEO of CoinJar, and then that allows you to just go and tap like you would normally, but instead of pulling pounds from your bank, it's spending whatever you've got, whether you've got XRP or Bitcoin or whatever. It actually does it at the point of sale, sells a little bit of Bitcoin, and you can go and buy some eggs and milk with it. So there's a ways around the system, and you can also do that. There's another card where you can do that with gold. So you buy physical gold, and it again allows you to spend it in stores as you would any other.
That's a really good idea.
Well, this is
not that I've got any gold anymore, apart from my engagement ring.
But that's the thing, it's that mixture of, like I say, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. They all have their risks and benefits, but there are, again, it's just options of how to think about it.
Yes, I mean, he is very into his crypto. He's excellent at predicting what a coin is going to do.
Okay, we'll have a talk afterwards about that, but because I don't have that knack. But
he surprised himself.
Oh,
he surprised himself.
Oh,
he just found it so easy, which I'm sorry, it just baffles me. I'm far better making a bath bomb or some bath salts.
We all have our roles. Yeah.
Exactly. He'll keep me rich. I'll keep him clean.
That sounds like a pretty good trade-off.
Yep.
Brilliant. Okay. Right. Running out of time as usual.
Gosh, that went really quickly.
I know it does. It does go quick. So before we do get cut off, Lesley, again, where can people find you? I mean, we will put the details below, but just if you let them know.
My website, yes?
Yes, that'd be great.
Right. www.skinkiss.org.uk.
Fantastic.
And in terms, Lesley, of people receiving your products, is it purely for the UK, the mainland UK, or could people from overseas order as well?
Right, just the UK. The reason for that is there are so many rules and regulations about what you can send to various countries. So just UK.
Fair enough.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, mate? Or is there a message you'd like to give to the audience, Lesley, before we wrap up?
Oh, me? Gosh. No, just thank you very much for the opportunity. I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you, Lesley. And, the vibe is so nice. And it's just so important that people, at least, as Gary said, think about the options and about taking more control of what they buy and the power that they have by making those decisions. It's just a huge piece of empowerment, I think.
Get self-employed. One way and another, find something that you can do that pleases you, that makes you a few quid. I'm not looking to be a millionaire. I just want a simple life without government interference.
There we go.
What a great message to end on. Well, we hope that you'll consider coming back at some point, Lesley. But for now, that was really lovely.
Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it.
Good.
Now I've got the boring jobs like the washing up.
Yeah, that's it. That's the
next. Life goes on. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.